Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like being a lurker, you can just go ahead and lurk. Thank you very much to Harold for raiding with a party of two. Welcome Firestar Man, who says that they are ready, which is cool. And Ghost Valve is here. Welcome Ghost Valve. But yeah, welcome everybody to the old Build With Baer. It's lovely to have you here on a Thursday evening, our premiere night here, because Thursday's the first day I started. Fireman just subbed for 8 months. Thank you so much, Firestar Man. I should say, not Fireman, Firestar Man. Thank you so much for that. Let's throw the applause in there. Thank you very much. So we can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, and the Tier 2 blue emote in chat to thank Firestar Man for their continued support. Appreciate that very much. There you go. There are the emotes. Aristofan is here. Hello, Aristofan. Welcome, welcome. So tonight's agenda, we're going to finish the Gundam, the Freedom Gundam, I should say. The Freedom Gundam Real Grade. One of the earliest real grades. One of the few real grades I hadn't built. It's long overdue. Lashbrook says, I want my emotes to work too. Well, Lashbrook, okay. I mean, there's a great way to do that, which is, of course, to subscribe, resub with Prime. 71 months. That's ridiculous. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's throw the Bear Cave, Lego, the Scythe emote. You don't use Twitch much? Nah, that's okay. I use it quite a bit, but that's because look, if people I liked didn't stream, I would not be here. I don't come to Twitch just to see what's up. Some people do. Some people find themselves on Twitch, like they just go to twitch.tv and they just see like who's streaming Spider-Man 2, who's over here playing, like, I don't know, like who's checking out the Alan Wake like 20-minute like thing that tells you, like, catches you up on the first Alan Wake in Fortnite. Who's playing that? I want to see that. There are some people that's just how they do. I mean, but that's where they get their entertainment, right? Because I like to go on YouTube and look at the people that I subscribe, and then when I'm done watching the videos of people I subscribe to, I see what gets recommended to me. And sometimes I find stuff that I'm like, oh, you know what? I would like this. Oh, this group of fellas plays a lot of different wrestling video games. That's all they do. All right, I'll check them out. Oh, one of these guys is on a podcast, huh? Well, I've heard that name before. I'll watch a couple clips. All right, well, I'll watch all of the clips of that, I guess. Oh, okay. Well, I'm being served more van life videos. I guess I'm going to watch a bunch of van life videos. Yes, Harold, it is indeed a rabbit hole. But there are other people that are like that on Twitch. They're like, I've heard about this new video game, or, hey, there's a game I really love. I'm going to find out more about it. Or, Jackbox Party Pack 10 came out today. Jackbox Party Pack 10 came out today. Maybe you want to play the new Jackbox. So you're looking in the Twitch category Jackbox to see who's playing the new game so you can jump in on a game. Harold says, I know, I just streamed it. Harold just streamed Jackbox Party Pack 10. But maybe that's how you want to play, because that way you can get some games going. Firestar Man says, wow, that guy was on a fake video game wrestling show at PAX in 2015. Let's follow him. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's just like that. I'm one of those people that just browses Twitch to find something to watch. Bobby Dice Roller says, yeah, there you go. Also, hi, Bobby. That's how some people do it. There are people who watch my streams because they click on makers and crafting, because they're looking for crafting, builders, model kit builders, Gunpla. Maybe some people search for the term Gunpla, which is why I have it tagged. It's weird when people come in on a Tuesday when I have stuff tagged, because they're just like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, you regularly click on the retro category. Yeah, because you want to see what people are playing, you know, old retro games. Maybe somebody's like, maybe you're going to come across somebody who's playing every Dreamcast game, or every Sega Saturn game, or every PlayStation 2 import game. You know, European PlayStation 2 games or whatever. And you're going to go and watch that, or be like, You know what? Hey, this person's trying to break a Mario 64 speed run. I'll watch that for 15 minutes. Oh, weird. Their voice makes me unhappy. Next person. You know, that's Lord Crashton's here. Hello, Lord Crashton. A lot of people approach their entertainment different ways. Like, I know that some of y'all have never built a model kit, and you haven't built Lego since you were a kid, but you like the vibes here, and that's great. And then there's some people who are like, I'm only here for your once every 3 months discussion of anime. Like, there's a couple people that are very interested in my anime wrap-ups and previews, and they're not as interested in the other stuff. And that's okay. Or there are people that are just like, I like Pokemon randomizers. I'll come hang out when you do your Pokemon randomizer runs. It's like, yeah, sure. Whatever makes you happy. I think that's fine. Or you like wrestling and you do not have friends that like wrestling. So you'll come in here because you know that not every stream, but most streams, I'll talk at least a little bit about wrestling. We're going to go to the overhead here. This is the, as I said, this is the Freedom Gundam Real Grade. We have completed the body. We are working on the wings right now. And then we will do the shield and the gun and the beam sabers. And I promise you, we'll stay long. We'll stay past 11 p.m. My self-imposed curfew for streaming. My cutoff, I should say, not curfew. Wrong word. We will stop. We will finish this kit. We're going to finish the fight. And I know what I'm building next in case this takes less time than I think it will. But I don't think that's the case. All right, we're going to set these aside. Put this over here just so it's out of our way. So we have some building space. And we are going to continue where we left off here on step 13.2, the wing unit. We got to start here with some F and G and, yeah, FG and then a B. We'll take the G out here. G2, and 2 of these here. Okay, let's just start off with our continuing saga, the ever-present nonsense that is, of course, we do on occasion have to talk about Elon Musk and Twitter. We got 2 Elon Musk stories here. One is Twitter related, and one is other conversation stuff here. All right, so looks like, oh, we're just doing one of these at a time. Okay, so we're not doing 2 at a time here. This is just build 1. A friend of mine is traveling Japan right now, and traveling Japan right now, and just got to take pictures of the big Gundam. It's very large. That is a big Gundam. You're not wrong. We'll talk a little bit about Gundam in a moment, but I did want to start with this. So you saw the X story. You saw people talking about this. Obviously, it's foolish. We'll chat about how it's foolish, but we do want to be smart about how it's foolish and why it's foolish. So, Twitter is going to be trying something in Philippines and New Zealand as a test. That's their test area. And the idea is, if you want to start a new account, a brand new account, not if you want to tweet, not if you want to continue to be a Twitter user who does not pay $8 for premium or blue or whatever. If you just want to use, if you just want to jump in on your Twitter account, a brand new one, you want to start something new. Maybe you've never used Twitter. Maybe you want to have an account for your book, your Kickstarter campaign, your new video game, whatever, your new project, and you start a new Twitter account. You're going to pay $1 to do that. Now, why is that? Well, the belief is, I guess, is that it will reduce the amount of people who are bots. Because why would you pay $1 to spam people? Now, the obvious answer to that is, well, why would you spend $8 to spam people? Because a lot of fucking people do that. A lot of people are willing to spend $8 to spam a lot of people. So why wouldn't they want to spend $1 to do that? Or to inflate their own numbers or whatever. That's not going to be a deterrent. That doesn't fix any problems. That simply is a foolish decision made by a fool. So this does not mean that everyone is going to be charged money to stream. Oh, that was also $1 a year, $8 a month for premium, $1 a year. It does not mean that at some point, right now anyway, that X is going to charge you $1, a year to post on your account that already exists. Lasseter says, also, what happens if you just sign up over a VPN? Well, in this test, probably nothing. It might say, hey, you're streaming, you're posting from an account in a country that you didn't sign up in. They may be smart enough to do that. But yes, folks in the Philippines and New Zealand that want to start new accounts could just use a VPN. Because the idea is that eventually it would be everywhere and you wouldn't be able to avoid that. There might be some countries where they couldn't get away with it, but probably not, because because Twitter is a good and a service. So you could just say like, well, yeah, we gotta do this. Now, could this be X is gonna take it from you? Could this be a way to just eventually try to get everyone's payment information? Sure, that's possible. It's possible. Do I think that this is going to solve any problem that they say they are trying to solve? No. Am I 100% convinced that this is actually a problem at all? That they're trying to fix? Not that it's a problem, because it certainly is a problem. Spam accounts are certainly a problem. I get tagged in spam stuff daily. And I get spam DMs every other day. So it certainly is continuing to be a going concern. Now, do I think that this will be a solution to that problem? No. As I said, this is not a solution. This is not going to fix anything. All right, am I doing this right? This looks like I'm doing it right. This appears to be correct. Oh, this is just, yeah, I got to work this joint, this bend here. Okay. All right, looks like I did that correctly. And then we'll take this, and we'll take that, and then we need, this is going to go here. Because this bit, wait. Oh, sorry. This is not connected to that yet. These are a different thing. I was like, this doesn't seem to be correct, because it wasn't. That's fun. It's always fun when I'm like, hey, this doesn't feel right. And that's because I was just doing something wrong, and it wasn't right at all. It's nice. Nice to know that sometimes I'm just, this feels off, because it is. Anyway, that's the one thing. The other thing is, Elon Musk had a quote that Tesla dug their own grave with the Cybertruck. He says the Cybertruck is one of those things that comes along only once in a long while, but it hasn't come along, but it's not hitting, right? That's the genuine idea, is that it's not been the seamless process that he thought it would be, and it is taking much longer. Now, why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up simply to point out that internal documents, people that have been fired from the project, who you could take with a grain of salt if you feel like, folks that speak to reporters off the record, numerous claims say basically that it's not he says that they've dropped the ball, but it's not Tesla. He says Tesla. He should be saying Elon Musk, because lots of people are like, the design choices that you made here are bad. You're not good at designing a vehicle. You should let other people design it. And his responses have generally been like, well, we're going to do my way. I don't like that negative talking. Basically, or it just doesn't feel like you're the right vibe for this project. That kind of shit. Dumb bullshit from people that cannot take criticism, cannot be wrong in any possible way, in any way, shape, or form, could not be wrong in this scenario, and definitely no better than other people, no better than the designers and the experts and people who do not share his vision, because his vision is bad. His vision is blurred, you might say. So that's it, basically. if there are issues within the company, it is his fault pretty much. The buck stops with Elon Musk because he is the one that has a vision that is nonsense, and even not all of the people that work for him, but a large amount of people that work for him are like, so it is what it is. All right, I'm going to try to figure this thing out. Some of these parts here are lining up perfect and seem to be doing exactly what I need them to do. And other parts are not quite lining up how I would like them to. And so I am trying to figure that out. This needs to go here. Whoops. This just keeps falling off. All right. So that's my Musk update. We got to do another update on Bandcamp. We've talked about Bandcamp before. Bandcamp, who the co-owners, co-founders, the CEO and the CFO, sold it to Epic Games. They sold it to Epic, and then Epic sold it to SongTrader. And that process came in with layoffs. This sale met with many layoffs, and some people report that these are SongTrader layoffs. And I mean, don't get it twisted. They are layoffs in the process of selling it there. But it should also be remembered by people that part of that is, of course, that these layoffs are in participation with the sale. The sale closing of this company is part of the whole layoff deal. Like you don't send a company like at full strength that way. All right, what am I doing wrong here? Sorry. I'm clearly doing something wrong because this is not coming together right. So I have to see what I'm doing wrong. So please allow me to figure that out. But basically, the layoffs. We know more about the layoffs now than we did on Monday, my last stream, my last model kit building stream. We know more about the layoffs, and the important thing to note is of the 50% of the company that was laid off, and if you listen to SongTrader, they offered 50% of Bandcamp accepted new contracts. If you listen to that, of course, only 50% were offered new contracts. Part of the 50% that were laid off just so happened to be layoffs in the people that help generate recommendations, customer service, and everyone on the union negotiating committee, because SongTrader has not acknowledged the union for Bandcamp, and they claimed they did not know, these people, which was 8, it should be, that's 8 people. 8 people of those that were laid off, all happen to be part of that. They said that SongTrader said that they had no access to union membership, so there was no way for them to know who was a union member of that, and they had no idea. There was no way for them to know, which is bullshit. Of course they would have that information. They could get that information from Epic, the people they bought the company from. And of course, also goes without, we must be reminded that Epic did indeed, in fact, part of the sale was Epic putting money towards and investing in SongTrader, and they will be partnering with SongTrader to do the work they originally envisioned that they would do in-house via Bandcamp, that now they can have another company do, so they take a lot of the risk, and then it's just an investment instead of owning a company. Because it's all fucking fucks. It's fucks all the way down, of course. All right, so this does not look right, but it looks... All right, I'm gonna pull back here. We're gonna take it a little slower because I am just Not sure why this is not working, but it is not. It's not working correctly. I am not sure why. We want to flip this over. This is from the last step. We want to take this piece. We want to put this piece here, right here, so that it can bend around that forward. That looks right. So we did that. Now we're going to take this piece here, and we kind of have to feed it back and forth a little bit, so it like clips on one and clips on the other, like that. So it's just kind of pressure that keeps it together, but then it'll all be fed there. And then make sure all of this is connected right. I will at some point just start taking this apart to kind of rebuild it to see if what is wrong and what I did wrong. But right now this all looks fine. And now this needs to snap into here. That. Okay. All right, I think this is connected properly. I think I did it. This is going to be here. This is going to go like this into there. And then we got to put the other piece. These are annoying to put together. Add that to the list of things that are annoying about this model kit. We'll add this in. And the great thing is, I get to do this all again for the other wing. So that's fun, he says sarcastically. So anyway, Song Trader, basically, there's no way. I should also say that if you're like, well, Pat, they didn't have union membership. There's no way that they understood this, that they would know which employees. They had no information there, so they couldn't decide which employees they should keep and which employees they should have be laid off before the contracts moved over from Epic. But the CEO last week agreed to meet with the union representatives. Basically, they invited him to a Zoom call, and they accepted. And every person that was going to be in a Zoom call is all 8 people in the bargaining committee. And of course, there's no response on that, because why would you respond about that? Because you would just, it's best to just ignore that and just be like, yeah, we will, as we said, we had no idea. We don't know. We weren't privy to that information. It's just a weird coincidence that happened. So anyway, it's more fuckery from Song Trader. Sucks ass. As always, I hope that someday there will be a competitor in the space, and that competitor will be a co-op, because startups exist to make money enough, or the possibility of money enough to get sold. Even, it is rare these days to have a group that takes VC funds and then makes a profit and just continues to exist as a company that makes a profit. It's just unfortunately unbelievably rare for that to be the case. It is just a unfortunate, unbelievable rarity. And we, of course, wish that was not the case. But that is the case. Capitalism. It's just so fucking fucked all the time. Just all the time it's fucked. It's just not great all around. Let's see. Other things we can chat about tonight very briefly. Anime news. These are obviously, this is all under capitalism, but it's fun because it's Blu-rays. This came out during my stream on Monday. A list of new releases out there, Blu-rays that you can get from Discotek. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but a lot of them seem to be things that were originally distributed by Pioneer. Pioneer put out DVDs and VHS tapes in the 90s and early 2000s. And this seems to be like negotiating some of that catalog, which is interesting. So we're getting a lot of stuff from that. Like Handmade May, which is a series about a very small maid. She's a robot, but she is very tiny, that comes to live with a guy, and hijinks ensue. And also romance, if I remember correctly, but I don't remember fully. But Handmaid Maid was fun. That was a fun enough series, I would say. All right, did I do this right? I think I did this right. And then this is going to go in here like this. This does not feel comfortable to put together. There we go. All right, we did one of the wings. Let's panel line this thing. I'm just going to use black here on the blue, and this will look pretty neat. And I'm not going to go super detailed on this because this is on the back of the kit, but some of this will be noticeable, so I'll go over it with the marker here, just hitting some of the spots to kind of make it pop a little bit. Okay, so other stuff. Dual. We mentioned in chat, Dual. If you're unfamiliar with Dual, Parallel Trouble Adventure. That is a series. It is the creator of Tenchi Muyo, and he made his version of Evangelion. What if Evangelion didn't focus so much on being an allegory about religion, and instead was just a weird thing about teens dealing with parallel worlds and monsters and such, and cool robots? And that's Parallel Trouble Adventure Dual. Because it's like two. It's dual. But it's Dual. That has a fun dub that I believe is just up on YouTube. I don't know if it's like 13 episodes, and I believe there's an OVA. I don't know if the OVA got dubbed, but that's coming out. Fatal Frame, Kamikaze Girls. I don't know what Extreme Dinosaurs is, but that's just sounds fucking rad. Like, maybe Extreme Dinosaurs sucks, but they named it Extreme Dinosaurs, and that sounds cool. Fist of the North Star, Legend of the True Savior, The Legend of Kensuro, which I've seen and is very good. That's some good shit. Lovely Complex, which I remember enjoying, but also is very much of its time and place. IGPX, which is like I think it was like Cartoon Network's like Toonami's first original. Probably one of those aping TMNT. I haven't heard of it. Extreme Dinos is a Street Shark spin-off. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's all part of the Abnables. That is, I don't know if he just started using it or if it was coined by Travis McElroy of the McElroy family. But Travis calls those Abnables, animals with abs, because that is what a lot of people thought that kids liked about Ninja Turtles. Was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are teens that can do ninjutsu who are turtles. And some people saw that and said, kids love animals with muscles and abs, which is why you have Cowboys of Moo Mesa, you have Battletoads, you have Street Sharks, you have Biker Mice from Mars. I'd have thought that was abnormal animals. No, abnormals have muscles because all of those are buff. All those characters are buff. I mean, hell, you even had the Mighty Ducks, right? Which was just like taking the Anaheim Duck mascot and making it a cool hockey team from the future of Mallards who fought monsters or aliens or something. I don't remember what happened. But don't ask me anything about that. I don't remember what happened with the Mighty Ducks cartoon. But anyway, that's part of that legacy. IGPX was I believe that was a Toonami original. Their first original in we're going to do kind of our own like English anime, anime vibes. And I remember that being fun. I have good memories of IGPX. And there's a bunch of other stuff I've never heard of. I don't know what Puss in Boots Around the World is. I assume it's just a interpretation of Puss in Boots that is animated, of course. I don't know anything about Chie the Brat TV Series 1. I don't know anything about Chie the Brat other than that's a good name. It's a good name for a show. It's Chie the Brat. It's not Da Brat, it's The Brat. Anyway, that's a little bit of anime news. If you like Blu-rays of old anime, some of which you can find, low quality uploads on YouTube. Others, you have to dig deep into people's personal collections to find rips of it because they are not available. Have not been available for some time. And now you can get them on, in some cases, upscaled Blu-rays. Other times, just what they could get put on a Blu-ray, and it's not going to be upscaled. If you want Belladonna of Sadness in UHD 4K, you could get that. Enjoy. Chie the Brat is a show directed by Iso Takada of Grave of the Fireflies fame. Oh, nice. Thank you, Lord Gresham, for that info. So, good news / bad news / question mark news. Question mark positive. On the one hand, we got confirmation, folks. Laid Back Camp. 3rd season will be out in the year 2024. We're sometime in 2024. We are getting more Laid Back Camp. So that's awesome. Congratulations to us. More Laid Back Camp. Movie was fine. Season 2 was like of 2 parts, where the first part was kind of slow and okay, and the second part really cooked and was fun and silly. The addition of another kind of weird trickster character, harsh life lessons of trying to do winter camping when you're not prepared, a tribute moment to Initial D of some mountain drifting. Season 2 had some real good stuff in it, and then some like totally fine stuff in it. All right, we're done with this. Now I have to do this all again, and then hopefully not hate it. So that's 13. Let's do 14 here. So anyway, they're coming back, and if you said, like, Pat, you just said that there's like mixed thoughts on that. What's up? Why would you be worried about it? Well, because they're coming back with a different studio. C Station isn't doing it, and there's a new staff, and that's weird and maybe a little worrying. The new director is going to be the director. He's most well known for Infinite Stratos 2, which is a I can't believe it's not an isekai anime. It's a harem. It's an adventure series harem that you'd be very. Have a good night, Harold. Thanks for stopping in. And thank you for the raid. You would be hard-pressed to not think that, perhaps this anime is an isekai. And it is not. It is not. And the series composition is going to be done by someone from Uma Musume Pretty Derby, which is like, yeah, sure, all right. That's a fun girls focused anime about horse girls that race. So that's not the same, but whatever. It doesn't have to be the same. There's a new character designer, but obviously it's going to be still based on the manga. It shouldn't look too different. And a couple people are returning as the composer and the sound director, respectively. And it's weird. It's weird that is happening. But there's no indication of why that is. Now, 8-Bit. I'm going to look up 8-Bit to see what they've been known for. What anime are they known for here? A long list here. They've done some of the in-between animations, like the animation that you see coming in out of commercials. They've done some of that for Attack on Titan, which is weird. That's just like, oh, they did Canopy. Yeah, that makes sense. Some work for that. I'm gonna look them up in a better listing here. 8-Bit. I'm gonna do 8-Bit anime studio. I'm gonna look them up on. Right now, I'm on Anime News Network, which is not a great listing here. Okay, 8-Bit. Infinite Stratos was their first one. All right. They did Blue Lock, which is very different. Very, very, very different. Also, they're doing Shy right now, which is I didn't seem interesting to me, but is at least like kind of similar. But it did not seem like a series that I was interested in checking out. But at the very least, is a little similar vibe wise. Okay, here we go. They did this. They do. That time I got reincarnated as a slime, which doesn't really fit in again with Laid Back Camp. But they also do Slime Diaries, which is the slice of life version of it, and that does fit very well. And that is a vibe. That is a similar vibe. But most importantly, they did Encouragement of Climb, which is and Stars Align, which are like slice of lives. So that's good. Blue Lock is such a weird, different thing. In between animation isn't commercial bumpers. It's like a certain frame of animation. Oh, Lashbrook, thank you. I was wrong. Okay. So they've done some pay for play stuff, doing some connecting animations. Okay. Thank you, Lashbrook. I was wrong. One thing that they did. So they've done some isekai. They have done, I should say, 8-Bit has done an anime that I really like, that I feel like nobody talks about, and that's called How to Keep a Mummy. And How to Keep a Mummy fucking rules. How to Keep a Mummy is I just realized I'm doing a thing for Pat Bear's Anime Club, I won't say what, upcoming, that this would be a good... How to Keep a Mummy would be a good anime to talk about in there. So I'm just going to copy and paste that as a note for myself to remind myself that I want to talk about that in the future. How to Keep a Mummy is a fun little series about a guy who gets a gift from a family member, and inside that gift is a tiny little mummy that becomes their pet. And there's a dragon and an oni, and they're all very cute. There's a talking like a Sphinx statue that is very fun and cute, and it's just like wacky adventures happen. And there's just a couple moments in that series where things get fucking real and sad, and it's like, what the fuck, anime? But for the most part, it is just goddamn adorable and cute as hell, and a good little series that I recommend. You might like How to Keep a Mummy. There's also a little, I forget the name of it, but it's the kind of thing that eats dreams. Eats dreams, and it's great because that friend helps out with a guy who has nightmares all the time. So he doesn't have nightmares anymore because the little friend ate those nightmares. And that's just great. It's like a weird cloud. There's a Pokemon that is based on it. That's a fun little series. So it's not always a bad thing if a studio does jump and go over to another studio. If an animation moves. It's not always the worst thing in the world. But... never like a great sign. So we'll see what happens with that. We have to talk about some Gun Plus stuff, some Gundam stuff. Gundam Metaverse. It's not just a OV or an ONA animation. It's also a bunch of bullshit. Gundam Metaverse it's a metaverse. It is a go here, see stuff. It is a fourth pillar. It is like, well, there are people that watch the anime. And there are people who buy the model kits. And there are people who read the manga. But then also, and there are people that play the video games. But what if we could create a world in the virtual space to bring all that commerce together that we could control? And that's going to be Gundam Metaverse. That's the future of Gundam, is the Metaverse. And the future of the Metaverse is apparently unprotected files. Now, the Twitter account that was talking about that wiped from the internet. Gone. Just like got fucking Bandai stretched their creative juices with Twitter and was just like, be gone. And that's gone. So the original post is gone. But here's what happened. what had happened was there's stuff in there for unreleased kits, unannounced, unreleased model kits, CAD files. Like, apparently the books that are in there are kind of low res. They're meant to just be appreciated. It isn't meant that, like, oh, if you bought a model kit, you can just go into Gundam Metaverse and follow along the instructions to build that kit. They just put the instructions up there. But the CAD files were just easily found, like unbelievably easily archivable, and like totally, like, just unbelievably simple to locate if you wanted to download. Now, what are you going to do with those files? Are you going to print out, and figure out how to make and test all that, and you yourself, are you going to go ahead and do all this and do all the work to make all of the models that are in there of unannounced, unreleased kits, and what, 3D print them, Pat? No, I'm not going to do that. You know who's going to do that? The people that make bootleg kits. They're going to do it before the actual kits come out. They're just going to get a jump on it. Or the second those kits come out, they're going to be like, yeah, we've been fucking ready for it, my guy. We've been waiting. We're out here totally ready to go on your bullshit that you been just sitting on. And somebody, this is within days, somebody has already made the Rising Freedom kit, which is not a kit that's out. Somebody's already 3D printed that kit. That kit now exists in the meat space outside of Bandai testing. And it's just wild. You've already seen pictures of it done. Yes, people are already doing it. There was a funny thing where someone was just like, hey, you know where a great place to do this would be? Your local library. Some libraries have 3D printers, and if you just buy material, you pay for the materials, and some of those librarians are so happy to help you make whatever, and also most likely would not know what Gundam is. They would not know what you were doing, and they would be happy to help you out with your found files. Yeah, and you need the 3D modeling software to see it. And you just got to do some panel lining, right? Do some panel lining, do some painting. It's very funny. It's very funny that this happened. It's very funny that they were just so bad at this that... Now, is it complete negligence on the part of the developers of the Gundam Metaverse? No. You can't say that it's completely like everyone fucked up, nobody knew. It was not prioritized, clearly, because security of files and being able to keep those files secure is a continual process, and always seems to be a thing that just is a roadblock where people are like, hey, this is not good. This thing, we need to do this, and this in order to keep things secure. And they say, and then they also say, what's happening? What's going on? Why does Reddit know about these things and this, and this? And it's just like, yeah, well, we told you. But we told you doesn't help. It rarely helps, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we told you so. Rarely helps because people will just pass the buck often. Now, something is wrong here. Something is wrong here because this should go in like that, and there's a bunch of space over here, but no space over here. So I did do something wrong. Yes, I did something wrong here because this is not right. So now I got to go back in here, and we got to figure out what I did wrong. We're going back in here, friends. We are going to disassemble this stuff until I figure out what I did wrong. This goes here. Like this. And then This has got to go loop, 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 and that goes like that. Okay, so somewhere along the way, I messed this up. So we got to disconnect this here, and we're going to figure this out. We'll move on to talking about some wrestling in a moment here, but we do need to quickly figure this out. Go here. We go here. I will quickly say about some wrestling and the world of professional wrestling. A cool thing. Yuka Sakazaki, who you may know from AEW or Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, she is graduating from Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, which means she is not retiring. She is moving to Los Angeles, or to, wherever, somewhere in New York. She's moving, or somewhere in America, either Los Angeles or New York. We don't know. We don't need to know that shit. But she's moving to the States to continue to pursue wrestling with AEW on a more permanent basis, which is cool for everybody. It's cool for us that she is going to keep wrestling. And with that, so she's not retiring. She's just leaving Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling as her primary wrestling place because she has been splitting her time over the years, the past few years. And now she's going to focus on All Elite Wrestling, which is awesome. Congratulations. Also, perhaps, her boyfriend lives in the United States. Her boyfriend, who used to live in Japan and is now wrestles for AEW and primarily lives in the United States. Perhaps her boyfriend is around there and she would like to live with her boyfriend. Perhaps. We're not saying. We are not listening to the conjecture and the who's it's and the person who probably shouldn't have said anything but definitely said something about them being together on a live stream and then was like, and everyone got real quiet about it because everybody realized, oh shit, I think we just told people that they're dating. But anyway, most likely everything's cool. All right, so this goes like this. This goes like this. This is mostly easier than it was previously, which is great. We like that. We like this to be a bit of an easier process because I did it once. I did have to take that apart, but I got it together. All right, so we need this here. Anyway, Yuka Sakazaki has had a neck injury that took her out in the summer. She is coming back at the end of October, and she is finishing up her year. We're going to get a press conference. She's in a tag match with her tag team partner, which is cool, coming up the end of this month on a big card. And then one would assume that her last match will be with her former tag partner and rival, Mizuki, probably at the end of the year. That is assumed anyway. We don't know for sure. But yeah, sounds like 2024 she's moving to the States fully. And she was just in the States because she was on AEW's Japanese Twitter feed doing some good bits, which is fun. She was counting in Japanese, and anytime she came to the name Nana, Prince Nana would come in and be a goof, and then they both did the Nana dance, which was funny. It was a fun bit of business. Good, silly shit over there. Other things I want to talk about here. Toni Storm did another silent movie. This one had like text to it. One of the best, weirdest gimmicks on American wrestling on television. One of the best in any of the shows that are on TV. One of the best right now is Timeless Toni Storm. If you have not seen that, you should track it down because folks that do not care about wrestling, I assure you, you would be at least interested in this gimmick. It is Toni has lost her mind and dresses and acts like she is an actress in the end of the silent picture era. She is going through it. Her photo on the AEW roster page is in black and white. Her entrance, the cameras go black and white for the entrance. She has done a thing when she wrestles and there is a commercial break during the match. She has done on several occasions now a bit of business where she looks directly at the camera and cuts to a commercial And that's fucking great and weird. Um, but over the course of several weeks, ever since she lost her title, she has slowly lost her dang mind, and it's been very fun. And she has now done 2 silent films that aired during commercials. So AEW does a lot of things where they have picture-in-picture, and usually that's the match is happening still, even while we're watching commercial, but you can see it in the corner. And they do that to make more money and keep people invested and all that. Also because they have an international feed on Fight TV, and the international feed still shows wrestling, so they still have to have wrestling. So this is their compromise of that. And on 2 occasions, most recently this Wednesday, they have gone to commercial, and in the picture-in-picture, instead of a wrestling match, we're just watching a silent film. And that fucking whips ass and is very cool and weird. It is a cool choice that they are doing. It is, I don't want to say it's like brave. It's interesting. It's unique. I think that is wholly a weird thing to see on television, to see Tony Storm just being this kind of a character. It's very strange and fun. I think it's very cool. Also, big shout outs to Hikaru Shida defending in an eliminator, a future opportunity for Emi Sakura. Emi Sakura trained, had a hand in training Shida, and it fucking whips ass that they had a match here. It was a good, solid, fucking hard-hitting Joshi match. Emi got a lot of good shit in, looked strong as hell. It was very clear she was not going to win. We knew that going in, but it's still cool to see that. A cool little match. And Shida continues to be just fucking awesome. Very cool and neat. Other highlights from the night. The best match on the card, what in my opinion, was Penta against Jay White. That match whipped ass. That was just like fucking hard hitting and tough as hell. And Penta looked goddamn incredible. And Jay, I don't like Jay White's after match promos because he's so blown up. He's so like just like heavy breathing, and I'm not interested in that. But his in-ring work I think is solid. I am not the biggest Jay White fan, but I do think the Gun Club, the Bang Bang Gang, is a bunch of weird lunatics surrounding him, and it makes him seem more credible because all the people around him are real weird and goofs. And it just makes him seem like that much more of a good, stable leader, that he can keep all of these weirdos together with a common theme or purpose, I should say. So yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Is there anything else from Dynamite that I want to shout out? Let's see. That was good. Wardlow, I guess fucking Wardlow is also is gunning for MJF, and I think that's terrible for Wardlow. Wardlow should stay the fuck away. I had a conversation with a couple of friends about what they can do with Wardlow because they just brought him back. Now, one powerbomb is enough that his opponent's just like, I do not want to keep wrestling him. And that's kind of interesting. I don't know what the fuck you do with Wardlow. They've tried so many times and dropped the ball so often. You should not give him a microphone. Yes, Lashbrook. I mean, so I guess what's happening is they want to push MJF to the breaking point, right? Because you've got Jay White stole his belt. You've got Roderick Strong and his friends, the Kingdom, hate MJF. You've got Samoa Joe, who already lost a title shot, wanting another title shot and just being a threat and being fucking Samoa Joe. And then you also now have Wardlow, who's like, I'm not done with him. And it's a lot. And I think it's to push MJF into a corner. And I don't know what the end game for that is other than... Oh, and also I should say, MJF is about to beat the longest title reign in the main belt, Kenny Omega's reign. And so Kenny probably is going to have a match with MJF at the end of this month to try to take the belt off MJF before he beats Kenny's record. So you add MJF in there, or Kenny in there as well, and it's so many angles, and I think it's just to push him, but it feels like too much. Also, He is advertised for the December Ring of Honor pay-per-view because he's the tag champion. He's the only, for whatever reason, no, Lashbrook, I didn't mention, because Max Caster isn't trying to wrestle MJF. Max Caster is trying to hang out with the guy that he is obsessed with. And so he's around, but not trying to take the belt. So it's a sub angle that I don't particularly care about. I didn't mention Max Caster. It is funny that he is just blowing it, and that Bowens, both badass Billy Gunn, Mr. Ass, Daddy Ass Billy Gunn, and Anthony Bowens are both trying to wingman Max Caster in this weird friendship that he is trying to form, and he is blowing it at every opportunity, and they're both like, oh, God damn it, dude. Just fucking, come on, Max. Stop it, Max Caster. You're fucking ruining this shit. All right, we're gonna build the base to put these wings on, and then work on some weapons in a moment. But first, we're gonna take a pause for the cause. Don't you fucking worry about it, friends. Of course we gotta do this. This is my opportunity to talk to you, the viewers, and let you know about ways you can support what I do here. Everything I'm about to mention is optional. You don't have to worry about this stuff. If you don't want to do any of it, you don't have to. You don't have to worry about it. You can just hang out. If you just want to hang out and watch the streams, that's cool. But if you want to support me, here are some ways. This is the pause for the cause. First and foremost, if you're a subscriber, let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in chat. Let the people know that being a subscriber gets you cool emotes, which is fun, and we like that. You can subscribe with cash money like Firestar Man did tonight. You could also subscribe with your Prime gaming token like Lashbrook did. If you have Amazon Prime linked to your Twitch, you get a token. And you use that token once a month for somebody. Why not use it for me? Those are two ways to do that. You could also gift a sub. We have had no gift subs this month. So if you would like to gift a sub to someone in the community, you could. And now would be a great opportunity to do that if you're so inclined. Obviously optional. You don't have to worry about it if you don't want to. But if you want to gift a sub, you could do that anonymously or take credit for it. You could do that. Bits and coins always appreciated. You could join Harold at the Bit Sub leaderboard if you want to do that. Those are ways to support me within Twitch. That's not the only way. There are other ways to do it. And I'm going to bring up the thing that lets you do it because apparently I got a refresh Nightbot, which is weird. Anyway, here are other ways to support me. What about Patreon? You might not know this. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. There's a hi, I'm John, I should say. Hello, M. John. Welcome. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. If you thought about maybe, just maybe, jumping in on my Patreon, today's a great day to do it. Because there's rolling admission. So if you come in, or subscription I'd say, you come in today, you get billed again on the, whatever the fuck day today is, the 19th. November 19th, they'll be like, you owe me another $1, $3, $5, or $10. And you'll be like, okay, here you go. So consider that. Consider that as an option. My Patreon. Did you know that I have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PatBear? And over on my YouTube, there is a membership. Subscribing is free, but membership costs $2. And if you become a member, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday, because I do a weekly Wednesday project, which we'll talk more about in a minute. And you get that video on a Tuesday. So check that out. Everything I make through those monthly ways, and also direct donations. If one time you just want to float me a couple bucks, if you're like, Pat, you should make this thing, or you should buy this thing, here's a little bit of money to help you do it. Through Coffee or PayPal or Stream Elements, I take that money. I take the money from YouTube, including AdSense. I take the money from Patreon, and I take the money from Twitch, put it in a fund, and I buy model kits. I was able to buy this kind of expensive Freedom Gundam because of your generosity. Past you is helping out present me build this cool real grade that is, it's not rare, but there's not like a ton of them just out in circulation, it seems like. I just bought, and it's being delivered here this weekend. In the future, I'm going to build the Caliburn, which is the last big Gundam from Witch from Mercury that I haven't built yet. I'm very excited to build that very cool kit. That's coming in the mail this weekend. I was able to purchase that kit, which is expensive, because of your generosity, you and those like you. So thank you very much. Now, the next kit I'm building is from my Amazon wish list, and I'm building that kit because a person named Chris, bought it from my Amazon wish list, and it jumps the queue and becomes the next thing I build. It got a dedicated video about it. If you would like to buy something to have me build it before I build the other things, you can go over to my Amazon wish list and see if there's something there. I've got a bunch of stuff on here. I've got Lego sets. I've got the RX-782 entry grade, the full weapon set. I've built the regular entry grade for that. I haven't built the one with the extra weapons, so that would be neat. The other one just had a lightsaber. This one's got the gun and the bazooka. I've got some, I just added pretty recently the gun cannon revive. I have built the gun cannon before. I've not built the revive version of that kit. I like to build that. Some Lego sets, some model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits with free shipping, kits without free shipping, a bunch of different stuff that I would be happy to build. And you can find that on my wish list, see if there's something there that you'd like to see me build. And there's some expensive stuff towards the bottom and some gear, because it's nice having gear options. See if there's something there that you'd like to see me put together. And you can attach a note, and I'll read that note in the dedicated video. I have a Throne wish list, which is my alternative to Amazon, because some people just don't want to use Amazon, and I fucking get it. I understand. So I have Throne. And then also you can buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store. They send you an email with the gift card code. You then whisper me on Twitch or DM me on Twitter with that gift card code, and I will use that gift card code to buy something on USA Gundam Store. If you want to support me and not spend a dime, I have a Discord, and I would love it if you wanted to come hang out in my Discord. It'd be great if you wanted to hang out and chat with me in the old Discord. Jump in there. It'd be nice. What else? What else did I want to tell you about? A couple of video links for you to check out. Pat Bear's Anime Club. If you want to know about all the isekai, asterisk, I forgot to mention one. Almost all of the isekai out this month, or this season, that's the YouTube video for you. Check out Pat Bear's Anime Club for all about that isekai. And then Baerly Rehearsed is an ongoing video series where every week I write and perform, with some rehearsal, a character piece that kind of came out of my brain or came from some brainstorming that are comedic in nature. This one is also categorized as a short. It is a vertical video because it is parodying other vertical videos. It is a Instagram style video about like dealing with like the weight of the world and trying to give a possible solution. It is my twisted take on that trend. And I think it turned out great. I have figured out the process of recording decent quality video in vertical, in OBS. I have figured that out, and now I cannot be stopped. I don't know how many more I'll do like that, but yeah, check it out. I think it's pretty funny. It's short, because some of them have been a little long, and that one is not a little long. All right, so now's the part of the stream where I'm going to talk about some anime. I got 2 shows, but I have 2 episodes of one and one episode of the other. So there's a little bit more. So we'll talk about some anime in the second hour here. Before I get into that anime talk, I got to do something really important for me to do, which is I got to drink some water because I am in need of it. I am parched. So I will drink some water, dramatically transition back to the overhead, and then we'll get into some more model kit building and some conversation about anime, and then later some video game talk. Right now. All right. I'm going to talk to you about 2 shows, Helck and My Daughter Left the Nest and Returned at S-Rank Adventurer. And if you're saying to yourself, Pat, I thought that we were going to talk about 3 shows. No, you thought wrong. I have made a decision. There was a show that I was planning to talk about that I was just like, actually, I don't want to talk about the Aliens show. I've started watching the second episode, and I'm just not vibing with it. I would love a good girls doing things show. I shall survive using potions, which is kind of that, but not really. So I was hoping the Stardust telepathy was going to be good. I don't think it's that good, so I stopped watching it. But I did have 2 episodes, and my daughter left the nest and returned to S-Rank Adventurer. I had an episode that I had missed because I skipped a week. So now I can talk about those 2. I am now caught up with that show. Before I start diving into Helck, I am going to jump in here and work on the backpack here. So we'll get started on the backpack. And I'll tell you about Helck. So Helck is a story about a dude. We're well into the second half of the series. So I'll give you the very truncated version of this. Helck is the story of a guy who is a human hero. His brother defeated the Demon Lord. Everything should have been good. For reasons, our guy decided to become the next Demon Lord to take on the humans. And we have been kind of doing the backstory of how we got there. We still don't fully know what the fuck happened, but we're getting to understand a little bit more. The big takeaway was, hey, the monsters that showed up that are attacking humans, that's not because of the Demon Lord. Of course, it seemed like that because you would associate monsters with the Demon Lord and the demons, but this is not the story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world. No. I do not love Helck when he smiles. That's not true. That's not fair. I do like Helck more when it's fun, and this series has not been fun for several episodes. We got into the real shit, and the humor that was in the beginning of this series has tapered the fuck off, which is a bummer. It is a shame. But yeah, the show is not as funny and fun as it used to be. We're still in a flashback. So at this point, the Demon Lord got defeated. Helck's brother, Kless, got really injured. Things are weird. Things don't really add up. And our boy wants to know what the fuck is happening. Our boy needs clues. So he breaks into the Demon Lord's castle to get some answers. And he runs into Azurdra. Now, we in the present have known that Azurdra is a peace-loving demon high up in the Demon Kings, the 4 Demon Lords, the helpers of the Demon Lord. And so we know that he is a big proponent of peace. But of course, this is a little while ago. So we're learning about him. He's like, hey, the spawning monsters, they come from the land. Someone else is doing it, or it's a natural occurrence. It ain't us. We're not doing that. And of course, Helck isn't sure if he believes it or not. And he's also like, I'm sure that when Kless, the hero, when the human hero met with the then Demon Lord, the former Demon Lord, Thor, I'm sure that when he met Thor told him about what was going on. He should have told the hero about this thing. And then they talk to each other. And he's like, hey, this is part of an empire of demons. This is not the end. This is not all of the demons. This is just some of the demons. And I would love, it's like, hey, I want to make, there's reasons for us to not trust you. We are interested in peace. And then also, hey, we're thinking we're probably gonna have a tournament to crown a new Demon Lord. So yeah, take a look. And he learns more about them and the problems with humanity and all that. And he's like, Azurdra's like, I don't know what happened, but I'm pretty sure that the Demon Lord, because he knew that your brother was a pacifist, was trying to make peace. And I don't know where things went wrong, but that's definitely what was going to happen. And he learns about the competition, as I said, to make a new Demon Lord. So then Helck is not sure if he trusts this guy, but is pretty confident that, maybe not all demons, but at least this demon is interested in peace, is working towards peace, is someone that he could, talk to in the future. He gets back to the kingdom, and weirdly enough, discrimination against demons continues, and 3 demons are being tortured and then just executed, and people are psyched about it because Rafa, or what's his name? We knew him before. Radfel? Yeah, Rafed is basically just like, yeah, demons are evil. And guess what, everyone? There are more demons out there, but humanity has a secret weapon. We have a way to awaken our abilities so that we can be on par with the demons and defeat them. Which is, of course, what we now know as in the present, what these knights are doing. That's their whole fucking thing. Meanwhile, the mercenaries that our guy was hanging out with all seem to be fine, but they're hurt from a recent fight because the nobles are not looking out for them and don't have people's interest at heart. Because of course the nobility is shitty. Why wouldn't it be? Of course it is. God damn it! All right. So we gotta get this here. I gotta get this locked in. Back of this kit just popped right off, and then the head popped off. So that's fun. And by fun, I mean not at all. I'm lying. It's not fun. All right. We got our wings on. The head came off, but we're going to put our head back on. And the episode ends with some random dude showing up who apparently is part of Kless's team. Kless being Helck's brother, who is the hero that defeated Thor, and is like, hey, I need your help with something. So we're not done with the fucking flashbacks. A good portion of the second half of this anime is just all flashbacks. I know I'm a broken record. I am invested. I can't explain this enough. I am invested in what's happening here. I like the character. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what happened to his brother because the humans believe that Helck killed his brother, and I don't think that's true. So I want to know what's going on with that. But I wish this flashback was not so fucking long because it is an incredibly long fucking flashback. And I would like it to be less long. I think if it was less long, it would be better. And I know that's poppycock of me to say, but it just feels in my bone that maybe there's too much flashbacks in this series, and there could be less of them. Just weird, I know. Now we have 2 episodes of My Daughter Left the Nest and Returned an S-Rank Adventurer. And I can finally tell you, at the end of we're talking about episode 3 and 4. At the end of episode 3, the daughter finally gets to see her dad. It took to the end of episode 3 before she got to go home. This is a series about a adventurer that was on his way up. He was going to be something, probably. He got attacked, lost a leg, he retired. He was heading back home. He finds a girl abandoned in the woods and decides, I'm going to raise this girl. She goes off and becomes an S-rank adventurer, which is obviously the top you can be, the best you can be as an adventurer. But she's a daddy's girl, and she's looking forward to taking a vacation. Various things have happened, and she's been unable to do so. There were shenanigans. There are people that want him to come out of retirement. It's wintertime, and Belgrieve, who is our main guy, knows that his daughter, Angeline, can't come home for a while because of the weather. But a bunch of retired adventurers get asked to come out of retirement because there are just like so many goddamn monsters around. Like, it's becoming a fucking problem, and it's time to bring in a bunch of adventurers. So we get introduced to 3 S-rank adventurers that are either close to or were in retirement that we don't really see much of in this episode, but we'll see more of later. We've got Chiborg the Annihilator, which is a great name, Dortus the Silver, which is not as great of a name, and Maria the Dragon Slayer, which is a great name. and they're all S ranks. But now there might be a demon lord. They send Angeline to go fight this new demon lord, who is named Bial. But apparently, it's just like a child that is looking for its master. And the reason why there are monsters being spawned is because the despair within this child that is being taken over by this evil is sprouting fucking monsters. So Angeline fights Bial, but gets hurt. And defeats the demon lord in that form, but again, is hurt. It is not an easy thing, and she ends up fainting. And then, because she defeated the demon lord, she finally gets a vacation. Thank you for hey, Stop Platinum. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate that. Welcome. So the episode ends with her finally getting vacation time, and she, along with her party members, because they also get time off, we get Anessa and Miriam. They also get to go and travel, and they all go to her hometown to meet Belgrieve, and that's how episode 3 ends. We finally get a reunion. Stop Platinum. I'm talking about My Daughter Left the Nest and Returned an S-Rank Adventurer, which is a new show from this season. That was episode 3. And now we're going to talk about episode 4. Finally, by episode 4, we get the part where our girl Angeline gets to hang out with the guy that raised her as his daughter, the retired adventurer Belgrieve. But before we get to have that fun, episode 4 ends with the sorcerer that created Bial, the child demon lord that was raised. That sorcerer is using some of Bial's powers because it's trying to resummon Bial, but apparently a little bit of Bial's power escapes from containment, and that will be important later, I can tell you, as someone that has read the manga. I can tell you that. Anyway, Angeline is that her friends knew all this time that she is a daddy's girl, but they did not realize to the extent where she is just asked to be like, she's like pouty and asked to be babied and just like hanging all over her dad and being real childish. And they were like kind of surprised because she is, an S-ranked fighter. And apparently Belgrieve has been known. We've heard this. Belgrieve is known out there as the Red Ogre, and he's just like, yeah, what? Why do people think of me as the Red Ogre? What is that? And like, oh yeah, Angeline just told a lot of people that was your nickname, so it stuck. She invented it, and he's just like, oh, well, okay. Angeline wants a duel against her dad, but she doesn't take it fully seriously, and he like takes her out in one shot, basically. Because even though he's retired and only has 1 foot, he's still strong as hell. So that fight happens. And she's just like, all right, stop calling me the Red Ogre. I will say this. There's some fighting in here, mostly duels between father and daughter, which are cool. One thing happens in this episode that I found to be incredibly lovely. Just a lovely little thing, just kind of showing like, hey, you know this guy Belgrieve? He's all right. Her friends, one of her friends in her party who is there, wears a hat all the time. She wears this hat to hide her ears because she is a beast folk and she's got animal ears. And people, have a bias against her. They make fun of her, or there's, some racism about that. But you know who doesn't give a shit about that? Our boy, Belgrieve, was just like, yeah, okay, sure. I knew you were a beast kid because I can sense shit like that, but yeah, all right. I don't know, you're in my daughter's party and you're good to my daughter. It's like, sure. Which is lovely. And you get the sense that, like, maybe Miriam's like, oh, it would be cool to be coddled by this guy. This guy could also, hang out, and maybe it would be very nice to have this father figure in my life, which is fun. And then, okay, so this maybe Demon Lord, this monster, when he hears about that, he's like, this sounds an awful lot like the thing that took my leg. And he's pissed. Now we get Belgrieve in fucking dad mode in like, are you taking this seriously? Because he's like, okay, you can't adventure until you defeat me. Until you fight me full strength and fight me for real, you cannot be an adventurer. Because he's testing her resolve. So they do have another fight, and Angeline does fight seriously and defeats her dad, and because of course she has surpassed him. He only has one leg, and she is like very strong and always has been. And then she's mad. She's very mad that he was mean to her in order to like this tough love routine, and she's mad that he did that. Because he was like, if you don't fight me seriously, I'll disown you. And she got real pissed off that he was acting like that. So they fought. She won. And then he had to apologize for being mean. But because of this fight and this pretty good fight scene, her friends, Miriam and Anessa, are like, honestly, the nickname works. He's still a very tough, fierce guy. Like you could still call him the Red Ogre, and it wouldn't be, people wouldn't bat an eye. So perhaps the nickname will stick. All right, we're almost done here with the gun, which means that we'll be able to move on to the shield, which is the last thing that we need to build here. I will panel line this gun because it will look better with panel lining. Oops. Why won't you pop into place? There we go. All right, so I'm just going to hit this with the gray. And that's all the anime. There was some great action in this episode. Again, I watched episode 3 and 4 of that. My daughter left the nest and returned an S-rank adventurer. Is it the best anime this season? No. Is it good? Hell yeah, it is. I think it's animated really well, and it's a fun little romp. Like I said, there's some humor in the early episodes of her just like trying to get home and take a vacation and not being able to, and getting stuck having to help people, and then it snowballed because now there's like the new countess of a place wants to marry Belgrim. He's just like, what? No, get out of here. He's got all. It's just a guy who adopted a girl and now is getting extra daughters, and it is a take on the lots of girls in one dude where none of it is romantic that I think is pretty fun. The non-romantic love party. And there's going to be some more action in this series because I have read the manga, and I can tell you it gets actiony and gets there's some danger in it. But it's still a fun little series. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you into? If you're watching an anime, you're watching some TV stuff, you're watching some video games, you decided to get really invested in a YouTube series. Let me know what you got going on, what you're into right now. I'll tell you, for me, I got a new scam deck in Hearthstone. Oh, this Hearthstone deck fucking sucks. It's rules. It's a rogue deck, and it's real shit. It's some real shitty shit. It's a kind of scam deck where if you get ahead, you can't lose. So there's a new card that everyone got, and it's an 8-mana 6/6 taunt with a death rattle. And the death rattle is summon from your deck an elemental and a beast. So the idea is, you're going to play this on turn 8 mana. It gets defeated, at 6/6, and then you pull some random other cards. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that they probably should have known about, but didn't maybe take into consideration, at least in Wild, is that card, the 6/6 taunt, death rattle, pull a beast and an elemental, is a beast and an elemental. So if you have copies of that card in your deck, you will then pull 2 of them out every time one of them dies. So what you do is, on turn 5 or turn 4, you play a battle cry card that makes every death rattle in your hand a 1/1 that costs 1. And then you play a 1/1 that costs 1 on the next turn, and then you play a bunch of cards that your deck is filled with that copy cards. There is a Gang Up. There is a 3/2 for 3 that puts 3 copies, and you just put copies and copies and copies of this card in your deck. And then you can even kill the 1/1 yourself. And when you kill the 1/1 yourself, then you have 2 6/6s with taunt. So not only do you have a full board eventually of cards you can't do anything against, you also have a deck. You now built your deck out with even more cards that you can then play for 8 mana at any time you want to. And you also, you just build your board bigger and bigger and bigger, and they have taunt. So even like a deck that is just going to go swing face suddenly has to keep fighting through 6/6s. Now, could you completely clear the board over and over and over again? Sure. Could you silence the board? Yes, but then I just play another 8/8 or another 6/6 for 8 because I have at least a couple, because I put so many copies in my deck that I have more ready to go. And you can devolve them. The only way you really lose, is if they devolve your 1/1, but when I play Shaman, I make sure I can kill my 1/1 when I'm playing this combo. It is a deck that is actually like pretty easy. They're gonna have to make it not an elemental beast, I think. So that way it is only 1. Or they'll make it so you can pull either an elemental or a beast. They're going to have to change the card because in Wild it's going to be a deck that a lot of people abuse like me. But right now it is very fun to play because it is just garbage, and it wins games, and I'm happy about it. It wins, and then sometimes if they can get around it, good on them. They got around my weird nonsense deck. Good on you for doing it. That's what I've been playing this week. If you missed my stream on Tuesday, then you missed me playing Growth, which is I was describing it as a tile placement game. I was wrong. It is a tile traversal game, and there is a difference. It is not Dorfromantik, where you are given a stack of tiles and you place them and you're trying to expand and make points and get the biggest high score possible and get more points from putting out new stuff and building and building and building. It ain't that game. I thought it would be that game. It's not that game. It is a game where you are moving from tile to tile, trying to unlock stuff and build out and expand and take over. You're trying to take over the map, basically, and expand it to other maps and other areas. I don't think it's great. I received a code for it. I did not buy Growth. I did not request it. It was offered to me, and I accepted that code. My stream was not sponsored. If I'm ever sponsored for something, if I ever do a deal where I'm playing a game specifically by request or for payment, you will always know. But I did want to make sure people knew that this was something that this code was provided, right? I always try to make that clear. When we play Jackbox Party Pack 10 next Tuesday, you should know that my friend at Jackbox gave me a code for that game. Did not pay for it. It is not sponsored, but I did not pay for it. I try to make that very clear because that it's important to me. All right, let's panel line this. This is the end of our kit here, just about, but we can panel line. So anyway, Growth. Growth is fine. I wouldn't describe Growth as a great video game. It is a good video game. I think it's like $8 or $9 on Steam right now. There's a demo. I'll say this. If you liked Tuesday's stream, check out the demo. If you missed Tuesday's stream, maybe check out the demo if you like Dorf Romantique, because you might like this game. I will say that I have not played it since Tuesday, and I'm going to keep it in my library, but I will probably delete it off of its drive that it lives on. Probably uninstall it. And yeah, I made sure Jackbox Party Pack 10 worked when I got the code today. I have not played it. I will probably play it over the weekend with some friends before we play on Tuesday. I look forward to that. Please come hang out Tuesday starting at 9 p.m. Eastern for Jackbox Party Pack 10. It's the new Jackbox. There's a new TKO. I can't wait. Maybe I'll buy a shirt from our first game, but we'll definitely play that. I don't know what else we'll play. What you had to say, chat, you said some stuff, which is always nice when you say things. I like seeing it. What did you have to say? Lord Crashin said, I'm watching more Columbo and wasn't expecting the greatness of Columbo-William Shatner confrontation. Yep. I don't remember everything about that episode, but I do remember it being pretty neat that William Shatner was on Columbo. That's pretty fun. Mjon says, I'm getting really invested in watching the original Tenchi Muyo Ryoki because I only saw the first 2 seasons on Toonami and there are a lot more. Yes. There's a lot of Tenchi. There's Tenchi Muyo, the OVA. There's Tenchi Universe, the TV show. There's Tenchi in Tokyo, the not based on anything weird, somewhat sequel that is out universe and not canon. There is more Tenchi Muyo Ryoki. There's more seasons of it that keep coming out. There are shorter seasons that keep going. There's Warren Geminar, which is about Tenchi's half-brother, that is canon. There's GXP, which is canon. There's Dual, which wasn't canon, but now because of the manga is canon. There's a lot of fucking Tenchi shit out there. There's a ton of Tenchi Muyo. And it did keep going. Tenchi is the inverse isekai. It is it is a harem. There are a lot of girls. They all want to hang out with Tenchi for various reasons. But of course, they're aliens. And even if Tenchi is represented as a human, despite other things that come up that are either retcons or were always part of the plan. But Tenchi is pretty much, at the very least, Tenchi lives on Earth and believes himself to be a human and acts like a human during most of Tenchi Muyo Ryoki and Tenchi Universe and all that. There's a lot to it. Tenchi in Tokyo I don't think is good, even in the we need more Tenchi, we'll just make this up. Warren Geminar is a pretty fun isekai with mech shit. It's a pretty fun mech shit. And Tenchi's brother is just a younger, maybe even dumber, but also more capable Tenchi, which is fun. He's dumber in that one of the things about Tenchi is aware that a bunch of ladies are interested in him. Tenchi understands that he is in a harem. Tenchi's brother, Kenshi, does not understand that various ladies that he meets are interested in dating him or marrying him. He seems very unaware of his appeal. Let's see. I finished Assassin's Creed Mirage. Now I'm patiently waiting for Spider Mario Wonder. Okay. Lastbrook says, I'm impatiently waiting for Super Mario Wonder. Hell yeah. Can't wait to watch some streams of that. Some of my streamers, friends out there are getting real amped to check out that game, and I'm getting real amped to watch them play that game. So that should be very fun. Like I said, that should be a good time. G18 is here, right here. Okay, there's G18. Gotta get some handles on our shield here. Lord Crashton is playing Rocket League. Hell yeah! I hope you're having fun with Rocket League, which is fun Halloween event with Nightmare Before Christmas stuff to unlock and buy. You also got the DLC for Euro Truck Sim 2, which features the West Balkans. Hell yeah. That just driving through the West Balkans does feel like a good use of your time. Like it just feels like yeah, you know what? I should be driving through the West Balkans and seeing what the fuck's up with the West Balkans. Like, yeah, that makes sense to me. Like that feels like a thing that like you should be doing in Euro Truck Simulator. Let's see what else we got to say here. Lord Crashton talking more about Columbo, saying William Shatner plays a popular TV movie detective that Columbo loves. Yes, I don't remember all of that, but I do remember it being fun that he was in there, and the idea that he plays a TV detective is a good shout, good casting for William Shatner, as of course William Shatner played a cop on TV, fairly famously. T.J. Hooker, terrible name for a police officer. M. John says, I saw all of Tenchi in Tokyo, not good. You're looking forward to the Geminar War. Yeah, War in Geminar is like modern. It's the most modern that guy has ever been because he makes an isekai that feels like a good isekai. Episodes are long because the secret to why there's all of that Tenchi, why so much Tenchi exists, is because like it gets made fairly cheaply for a paid satellite service, and then they make a buttload of money on like DVD, Laserdisc at the time, VHS at the time, Blu-ray sales, which kind of helps pay for the next one. Basically, the Blu-ray of sales of the seasons pay for the later ones, and then also licensing, because eventually they do end up on their slow releases, and then they eventually end up on stuff like Crunchyroll and all that. I'm behind. I have not watched all of the most recent ones, but I am eventually. I'll get caught up on Tenchi because it's fun that there's still fucking more of Tenchi. And there's probably a series that is in the same universe that I forgot to mention, but I think I mentioned all of them. But there might be one that I just didn't remember. All right, so we got the gun, which also goes in the back. Hey, here's a cool thing. The beam sabers. The beam sabers connect together. I find this to be fantastic. That we can just put the beam sabers on here and have double beam sabers if we want to have double beam sabers. I find that to be very fun. So we'll do that. And there's also a gun. And it's fine that there's a gun. But the real hotness is the fact that these beam sabers can connect together. And then I just have to figure out where this connects. This connects to the bottom. Is there a particular hand I got to use for this? Oh, I got to use... Do I have to use this hand for that to work? I might have to use one of these hands. For it to fit? I don't know. We'll see. But we did finish this kit, which is great. I do love the Freedom Gundam. It's very over the top. Yes, I think the Freedom Gundam is a cool kit. Good lines on it, good art. Just well-designed kit. Yeah, we're not going to do this. We're just going to put the gun in. We'll put the gun on here, and then we'll let that be the end of this. Neither of these weapons want to go on just the regular hand. Why do neither of these weapons want to fit here? I'll probably just have to see if I can get any of this to connect here. So weird. I don't want to use the special real grade hands because they fucking are annoying to put together. All right, fine. We won't connect anything. Neither of these hands will have anything on them. The hands will be empty. Fine. See if I care. Put this on here like this. Snap the hand back together. We'll just put these near it. Try to get these wings back on. I'm going to call this kit built. Happy to be done with it. throw all these sprues. We got a few pieces left over. Most of these sprues are empty, which is great. Toss that over there, deal with that later. And then we'll have a couple ways to showcase this kit with its many, many guns, because it's got so many goddamn guns to put together here. But I got to get the backpack on. And then, let's see. We got to do... These go back. And by pulling these back, I can then pull this up. And then... Wait. Oh yeah, we can just do it like this. Let's do it like this. Do it like that. Weird guns on the back of this kit. And then also, the side skirts are guns. What? The side skirts are guns? Yes, the side skirts are guns. The wings are guns and the side skirts are guns, and a piece fell off that I got to put back on. And this kit has so much weirdness to it. Let me fix the wings here. I gotta fix the wing. Gotta fix a wing. I've said this before, friends. I totally understand why this kit is considered annoying, because there were several times where I was unbelievably annoyed building this kit. I am still annoyed trying to get this kit together. I totally understand why some people call this the worst real grade. I don't know if I find this to be the worst real grade, because I've certainly built... I think the original wing real grade is still the worst one that I've ever worked on. That one was definitely the one I find to be the most frustrating. This is definitely the second worst one. This is definitely like, oh, I wouldn't want to do this again. I wouldn't want to build it, have to assemble this like for fun. It's very over the top, certainly, as the last book says. I think the design is really neat. I just think this was too ambitious. They were like trying to do something very cool with real grades, and had like a lot of ambition about what you could do with a real grade, trying to take the master grade vibes but put it in a 1/144 scale. And I appreciate the ambition, but I don't think they were there yet with this kit. But I do like that it's got all these goddamn weapons and side skirt guns and wing guns and all kinds of nonsense. It's very over the top in a way that I like, and I will take 2 photos with it. I'll take a photo like this, and then I'll decompress stuff and have the other things. Also, above the side skirts is where the beam sabers go. So this is a fun kit to look at. It will not go on display. I do not think that it's not gonna join the party. I do think that it was fun to build in parts, but I think most of it is very annoying, and I would not want to display it, because I feel like I would constantly be fixing the wings. Just try to move the wings at all is already a nightmare. I would not want to consistently have to do it because I think it would be frustrating. All right, so we'll just do this here. Put the accessories together there, and we'll take one more photo here of it all there. The wings are incredibly flimsy, Lord Crashington. Some of these parts here, where the black and the blue meet, that's friction. It's not because it's so thin. They're not doing it. They're not doing like snap. Really, it's like a friction, like part, like right here, and that's not good. The friction parts like are a bad idea. They just like made a bad call with that. But it's done. We finished it. We finished the fight with this kit. Now I can tell you about our next build, which I am excited about. Oh yeah, it's the fucking gun tank. I had the gun tank ready in case we finished earlier, but Freedom Gundam did take the whole stream. We did finish it. It's the gun tank. The ability to spread them out is neat, but not at the cost of stability. You're incredibly right, Lord Crashton. Well put. Yes, the idea behind those wings were great. It's just in practice, not great. Pop that over there. Great. So here's the gun tank. This is the next thing that I'll be building. This is a kit from the year 2000. In the year 2000, there was a gun tank. This kit will not take me long to build. A box new. I love that with the new sticker. This was bought by Chris. Thank you, Chris, for picking this up off my Amazon wish list. Again, this is from the year 2000. Hey, check this shit out. This is number 7 of the high grade series. This is the 7th Universal Century high grade kit. The prototype long range support mobile suit. We have done the early type, which is the pure gray one. This is what you think of when you think of a gun tank. There's no stickers in this kit. There are polycaps. They're 1999 polycaps. No, Lord Crashington, I haven't seen a single news piece about awesome games done quick. So you can tell me if you want, but I have not heard a single thing about that. I do not generally hear news about that. I just start seeing that it's happening because some of my friends are doing something in it, and then I watch a lot of it later on YouTube. But I'm unaware. The hottest participant in upcoming AGDQ is a Shiba Inu named Peanut Butter. Oh, they're letting a dog. I guess there's nothing in the rulebook that says a dog can't speed run, which is probably several articles about peanut butter. Just saying, there's nothing in the rulebook to say a dog can't do a speed run. Also, that feels like a very Vinny Caravella joke. So, this kit, no stickers. The year 2000, no stickers. Now, is it going to be fully color accurate? I have no idea if this kit is fully color accurate. Does it have a lot of very big pieces? You bet your ass it does. Look at this shit. Look how big these are. This is just, most of the frame of the tank is just these giant pieces. This kit is like a stream and a half, I feel like. I feel like I'm going to, on Sunday, I'll have to do a poll because on Monday, I'm going to finish this kit. We're going to start it on Saturday, by the way. A lot of this is going to be panel. I think the majority of this build is going to be panel lining the treads because I'm going to want to panel line the whole tread. I'm going to want to do the whole thing. And so I'm just going to have to sit there with my black marker and just like really try to cover this part. And I think that's going to be the majority. We got big polycaps. It's been a while since we did a polycap kit because we've been doing Witch for Mercury kits, which have no polycaps. And of course, the real grade, no polycaps there. So it's nice to go back in some of our rubber. I don't know. I love the look of this. I love that instead of white, this is like glow in the dark almost. I think that's really neat. This kit, I am happy to build this. This might live on my desk here. Along with, right now my desk only has the poop that we built here. The Jurassic Park Lego set with the poop, that kit. And then also I've got the dinosaur here, and then I've got the other dinosaur. These are on and around my desk. And again, the poop lives over here. So maybe the gun tank will hang out here on the desk. Maybe the gun tank will end up over here on display or in my backup display because for the month of February, end of January and most of February, I move into the Carolina room, the bonus room in this house. And so maybe when I'm in the bonus room, I will, and I have a bigger display there because I have a lot more space. Maybe the gun tank will make an appearance. Could also in here. I don't know. I'm going to have to build it and see. I'm excited to work on this because it's a kit that I've always kind of wanted to build. And I'm glad that it was purchased. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. We did what we came to do. We accomplished our mission. Our mission was to finish that model kit, and we did. And I feel pretty fucking good about that. We finished the Freedom Gundam. And then we're going to build a fucking gun tank. But But we're not going to do that right now. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to raid, because we always end the stream with a raid. We got raided by Harold at the beginning of the stream, which was nice of Harold. And now we're going to share the love and pay it forward by raiding someone else. So that way, you can let the good times roll and go hang out with some other streamer that I think is pretty neat. Let me see. Who should we raid? Well, we did raid on Tuesday. We raided Will Smith. So we could raid Will again. Another friend of mine is playing Football Manager 2024, which we could raid that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. You know what? Arthur Geese is streaming Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Marvel's Spider-Man 2, not Spider-Man 2. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Let's go hang out with Arthur. Aegis is over there playing that. If you don't want spoilers, you don't have to come along in the stream, because maybe you don't want to see that. I don't know exactly what he's doing in the game, but it's pretty early in there, I assume. But yeah, well, let's go hang out with Arthur as Arthur plays some Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I hope you come along on this raid, because Arthur's good people and he's got a good community that he, fucking maintains, keeps sharp. And come back on Saturday for the gun tank. It's going to be fun. I'll see you soon. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Good night, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.